So, welcome. When we left off last week, we were in. There's a couple of interesting things going on, actually. I believe. Well, I'm not going to say believe because I know, because I keep track of these things. Zeev and Fenton were currently sitting in a car outside of Ricard Muller's house, kind of taking in the scene when they received a call, or I guess at first a text, I believe it was, from Aaron and Lenexia, who were in the woods. Unfortunately, they discovered some pretty sad things. It appears that the two men that they were looking into the disappearance of were murdered and apparently ritually sacrificed, each of them missing a part of their body, and their bodies, along with the bodies of three other people, placed in very specific positions in this glade that was clearly staged for some kind of ritual according to their kind of occult backgrounds and knowledge. Aaron decided to get a little physical in investigating the bodies and let the wolf take some control as he entered his glabro form, which is kind of like the Wolfman form. If anybody is familiar with the old Wolfman movies with Lon Chaney. And he cracked open rib cages to check people's insides to see if there were any interior parts missing that were not quite as obvious. And found that indeed, yes, some of the bodies were missing organs as well, but each body was only missing one thing, either a limb or an organ. At the end of which investigation, Longy described how he was being affected by looking into this and how he was thinking about his sister and a difficult relationship that she had that he might go into more detail at some point with. And he let the wolf take him and howled as the moon kind of emerged behind some clouds and went running off into the woods in the direction of what would be the kind of trailhead or parking area, in addition to what they already suspected was some kind of forestry station for this area, looking for, I think, those responsible for these deaths. And that is where we left it. So, I think where we will start is actually with chain scenes here. Zeev and Fenton sitting outside of Muller's house.
So Fenton, how long have we known each other already?
It's only really been a few months here, really.
Yeah, and still yet I don't know if you're an F Fenton kind of guy or a PH Fenton.
Definitely an F Fenton.
Cool.
As per the old birth certificate there.
What do you suppose the other guys are up to now?
Well, you were just on the phone with them.
Oh, okay, that's true, yes.
And I believe Aaron was not holding the phone. I believe Lenexia was holding the phone to give you both kind of a video of what Aaron was investigating with his hands. And because Fenton was giving backup with rolls in medicine to determine if anything was missing. So you both would have definitely heard or possibly even seen, depending upon how Lenexia moved the phone, Aaron kind of just rear back and howl at the moon and run off into the distance.
Right.
Right.
So as I was saying, how do you think they're doing over there?
Well, it's not ideal. Not going to lie. I must say, ripping open rib cages is definitely one way to check what's missing from your internal organs. It's not necessarily the way that we'd usually go about it, but it's effective. It's
What
effective.
town are you thinking of moving to then after this? Maybe we should think about moving to different towns.
At this point, far away. Far away. I feel like we may need to track down Aaron and find out what's going on, because clearly something's triggered him. I think triggered is the right word. There's clearly some deep emotional trauma.
What do you think we would find in Ricardo's home? If we were to go
we were looking at Ricardo. Oh, yeah, that slipped my mind a little bit.
So you are currently sitting out front of his house. You have not yet called him or tried to make any contact. You did find his residence. You do have his home phone. And you were kind of trying to determine what to do before you got the text and the subsequent contact with Aaron and Alexia.
I mean, our approach was going to be kind of like, I believe, tax agents. However,
no, we were going to do a like a bio on him as if we were journalists.
Yes,
because he wants the
podcasters.
Oh yes,
yeah.
Stroke the ego. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I made the view that he wants to be known. He wants the power. He wants to be the big dog, the face, the big I am. So I think that's the better way to go about it without rousing suspicion.
I don't know. This
Aaron
could be a very
right.
expensive. It could be a very expensive scoop, if you ask me. It might cost us an arm and a leg.
I mean, if we find out he had anything to do with these ritual sacrifices, it might cost him an arm and a leg. But sure.
So shall we give him a call and make an appointment, or do you want to just? Because it would be odd if we call to make an appointment for, like, let's say 5 minutes from when we call, but if we show up,
I think we just show up. His address and stuff is publicly known.
Oh, and look, there's a Dollarama right across the street. We could get a couple of clipboards and maybe some steno pads, pencils. We can, do this whole thing.
Sounds like a good plan. Supplies are, let's look the part, so we don't tip him off.
Yeah, and Jake, with your resources background, that's nothing but small change for you to get a few things from Dollarama or Dollar Tree to have a look the part.
I'm already wearing a blazer that has brown patches on the elbows, so it looks the part.
So, are you guys saying anything to Lenexia? Are you just going to let Lenexia handle what's going on with Aaron, or?
Are we still on the phone at this point?
I would imagine so.
We're still on the phone.
Yeah,
God. Right.
Yeah, I think
yeah, she's capable.
I would have just called out after Aaron. Phone still in hand, trying to figure out what to do. Because I'd probably wait for them to say something as well.
Do you need us to come there, or you kind of have that under wraps? Like, if you need us there in a rush, I'm sure we can make it within the next 36 hours, easy.
Yeah. I will say that you all know enough about your natures at this point, even though you are still new guru. You know enough about your natures that you know that Aaron isn't lost to frenzy yet.
Yeah.
If he had been lost to any kind of mindless frenzy, he would have taken his full war form. He's still in Glabro form,
Right.
which is he's still in control. He's just angry.
Yeah.
Okay.
You may just want to, work out that anger from him. Find a nice throwing stick and just have him fetch it back and forth. Maybe that'll
I'll try and
work out
find him.
No?
Yeah, I'll try and find him.
You're first.
So Then I think we will leave Zeev and Fenton to do a little quick shopping and get ready to do their thing. So we move back over to Development Copes West with Lenexia. So yeah, Fenton has charged off in the direction of the trail to based on the little research that you all did, what you assume to be like the front area of the Fremont experimental forest that likely has parking and like a ranger station or some kind of security office or something like that. So you're left here with these open graves and torn open bodies. And I'm not going to make you roll for this. You know what? I am going to make you roll for this because you were initially a wolf. You were not.
Sorry.
So Lenexia wouldn't necessarily automatically know certain things. So I'm going to make you roll intelligence. And no, let's do wits. And you have bureaucracy or mania, something that would be like kind of basic. Do academics. Wits and academics.
Academics. So academics was 1, wits is 2. So that's 3. But I have 2 rage, so it's 1 black. No, 1 green, 2 red. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Ooh, okay. So, yeah, something is nagging you. You feel like something is off about this whole scene, but it's something to do with, like, what you compartmentalize in your brain is, like, human stuff, and you just can't dig it up right now.
Yeah.
But since you've already hung up the phone with Fenton and Zeev, and I assume you kind of like was moving the phone around to kind of give them a view of everything while you guys were doing this, I will tell both of you something that is obvious in the moment. There was no indication that that area of the forest is under any kind of investigation. No police tape, no indication of any kind of authoritative presence. In a while, when we get back to you, you guys might think that's a little bit weird. Lenexia, though, has no idea. So you're now in the middle of a scene. Bodies are torn open. Some are just unburied with limbs missing. And your friend has run off. What do you want to do?
I mean, to be honest, I don't think we don't drop any stuff, did we? Because we could transform with our clothes, essentially.
Correct.
So yeah, I'll probably just.
You do still have fingerprints, though. But again, you're not even thinking about that right now.
I was gonna say we didn't even touch anything. I mean, rip some stuff open, but you know.
Aaron touched some things.
If they can lift the print off them, they can be the welcome to them. They deserve the win.
What's funny about that is if they lift that print, what they're going to find is that you have the same print. It's just bigger, which would be strange to anybody in a forensic situation.
Yeah.
It would be like bigger and slightly elongated, and also there are apparent claw marks on the bones of the ribs that you've torn open because you do have a little bit of a kind of claw action in glabro form.
It's like very. And
that's why once I've done my right of forgetting, that's the reason it gets thrown out, because it just looks like bullshit.
right.
But yeah, I am. If I don't know if Aaron had a bag or anything, but I'll make sure we don't leave any of our stuff behind.
He gave you his phone.
Yeah.
So you're holding his phone, but you can pocket that, and if you want to shift, that'll shift with you. It's fine.
Yeah. Because we came up, shifted, didn't we? Yeah, so we won't have a bag. Yeah, so I'll take his phone, pocket it in, I'll shift to try and track him.
Okay. Well, tracking him's not going to be a problem. And for the moment, we'll shift to Aaron. So you're not gone in rage.
But
I
at
get
this point, you can still hear me because I'm just tearing branches down and just barreling through the trees at the moment.
And that's kind of how I pictured it too. Is like you're kind of following the trail, but you're also just kind of it's not exactly like a clear, like everybody goes through this area trail. So there will be some hanging branches and stuff. And I pictured you just kind of pushing your way through and just barreling through this area. And it's a good to get where you're going, and Lenexia will be somewhat behind you. But to get where you're going is going to take you probably about, well, are you going full blast? Like you're just running? So about 5 minutes, because it's probably normally like maybe a 15 to 20 minute hike from the entry location. And so after about 5 minutes of you just tearing through here, it's still in the middle of this storm. You find yourself in front of this kind of concrete and steel, old, just kind of severe building. There are lights inside, and you can see a door on the left-hand side. There are, I should note, several vehicles parked in a dirt kind of parking area. Normally, you would kind of picture this as like a trailhead. And in fact, there are several trails that head off from this point, including the one you came down. Apparently, there are several different areas under development in the experimental forest with these trails going up to them. And there are signs on these trails of people traveling by foot, like the one that you're on. There are signs of kind of smaller, like ATV type vehicles. There's even signs of horse, both scat and hoof marks, things like that. So there is a lot of traffic through here. But you also note, I will tell you, because again, you're angry, but you're not out of your head. There are cameras that cover both kind of the parking area, and it looks like there's a camera that is set to kind of look at the entrance to each of the trails that are connected to either the main, what you'll imagine is like the station itself, or to poles. There is some lighting here, but in the rain and now that it's dark and the moon has come up, the lighting is not severe. You know, it's not like the kind of stark, like neon lighting. It's kind of weaker, maybe need to be replaced incandescent bulbs. But there is some light. And as I said, there's lights on inside. Clearly it's staffed. And there's a door there. And as you look at the door, you notice that the door also has a keypad entry.
Okay.
Sorry, I forgot to mention, there are several vehicles parked here.
Yes, you mentioned the vehicles.
Oh, did I? Including a sky blue. What did we say it was? Xterra or whatever.
Yeah. Okay. I'm in two minds here, as in how Aaron is feeling about all this, and whether I'm gonna switch to a more balanced view on this and drop into sort of investigative mode, or whether I just keep going with this rage and just go straight through the fucking door. So yeah, I'm wondering.
You do what you want to do. I will tell the story.
Okay. So as I come out of the woods and into sort of what's a bit more sort of humanity, buildings, a more urban environment, my senses kind of kick back a little. I suddenly feel not as feral as I come out of the woods, and I feel a little bit of a nagging feeling that this is not the right path. So as I get to the edge of the light, I kind of just slow down and then duck back towards one of the trees. And as I do so, I'll attempt to shift back to wolf form.
Okay, yeah, that costs you nothing.
Okay.
So you can shifting into lupus form is no big deal for you. Let me make a quick roll here. Oh wait, hang on. Cool. So yeah, in lupus form, you can definitely smell the people present in the building. As far as how many, you maybe have to do a roll for that, but you can see some people moving around inside through the windows. They're kind of darkened shapes in contrast to the light. There's at least a few. You also smell clearly the linseed oil and kind of bitter taste of gunpowder. Tells you there are firearms inside the building as well. And in fact, there's some on the air that would indicate to you that maybe there's been some weapons fire recently in this area. And yeah, looking around, it looks like there's kind of like a makeshift shooting range off to the other side. Maybe the security on site kind of go off and pop off a few rounds now and again for fun.
Okay. So the purpose of all this is, can I pick up any scent of someone coming from that clearing who was perhaps involved in that ritual coming
Right.
to this building?
So why don't you go ahead and give me a wits and investigate roll with +2 because you're in lupus form.
Okay.
To kind of look at the trail and get a sense of what's been going on. At this point, as you're making this roll, though, because she was fairly close behind and shifted to lupus, and I would imagine ran all out, Lenexia will probably be coming up behind you as well.
Yeah. So that's 8. So. There we go. 5 successes.
Very nice. So, as I mentioned last time, you very quickly, easily pick up the trail that led from Development Copes West. You can still see, and in fact, maybe it's standing out a little bit more starkly because of the rain. It hasn't quite been washed away yet, but you can see where the water is kind of puddling in several sets of tracks. There would have been 7 sets of tracks heading into the grove, but only 1 set coming out. And then that set, as I mentioned in our last session, was also kind of heavy, as if they were carrying something or someone. You can even see in a couple of places, and maybe you remember, because even though you were angry, you were still kind of aware of your what's going on around you. Some indications that maybe something was also being dragged or set down occasionally as you came out of the path. And that heavier path, along with an occasional set down or an occasional dragging, leads to one of the parking spaces where the vehicle is no longer there. It leads up to what you would imagine would have been the boot, the trunk of the vehicle, and then the steps are measurably lighter. You would assume because something was placed into the trunk, and then looks like a person got into the vehicle. And you at this point, walking around outside is not drawing any attention from the station, because again, you look like a dog.
Upon learning that they've got away, I shall let out a howl of anguish and anger in my wolf form. Also alerting Lenexia as to where I am, obviously.
Right. Do you want to include in that howl, like, I got away, you know, that kind of, or is it just kind of wordless, meaningless anguish?
Just as prey gone, basically. Prey gone. Motherfuckers.
Yeah, I think motherfuckers probably translates well in wolf. Sure. Yeah, so that's what you get is you're coming upon this kind of station and parking lot, Lenexia. Now, you guys can't really have a full conversation necessarily in wolf form, but you can get ideas and thoughts across. So, what do you want to do? I can tell you there doesn't appear to have been any interaction of the heavy tracks with the station itself.
Right.
So
this building may or may not be linked. There's no clear proof that it is linked to what's just gone on in the woods, but there's nothing to say it isn't either.
So, I mean, if you look closely, there is some indications that this is an older building, you know, even to the point where there's some greenery kind of like growing on top. But there's indications that it's being refurbished. And there is, you know, if you kind of scope around a little bit, I mean, there's some litter and some rubbish, you know, indications of people, a candy bar wrapper, things like that. Maybe they're not doing so great to pick up after themselves. But there are also a couple of indications here and there that this place is being held by the corporate entity that you already learned about through the Horticultural Club's website, the Enderon. So this is probably just their kind of like their security station for the entire area. It doesn't appear to be public land because it is privately held, but you know, that's why Ricard and the Horticultural Club have access, because they were given this plot to work on by the company.
Okay. I'm gonna scope out the cameras, look at what their coverage is. I've quite a good security rating, so I should be able to suss that out easy enough. And I will look to take up a position up against a building what's not got camera coverage if possible. And if that place exists, I will shift back to human form and signal for Lenexia to come over here if she wishes to.
Okay, so with your knowledge, I'm going to give you this for free. With your knowledge of surveillance systems, you can see a spot next to the building where you could shift pretty easily, but do you want to shift in a blind spot and then show up as a person with no indication of that person coming to the plot?
I'm just planning to shift so I can have a better conversation with Lenexia on the next stage.
Oh, gotcha.
Forward.
Okay.
Yeah, and then perhaps contact our two comrades.
Sure. Well, you could do it next to the building, but there's also plenty of like you could just go back down the trail a bit, really, and because you didn't see any cameras on the trail. The cameras are mainly just for that area, and while there are blind spots next to the building. Maybe that would be useful if you wanted to get close enough to, I don't know if you have the tools on you to try and hack into their network. You definitely could get to a junction box and possibly find like a networking node to work from. But if you just want to have a conversation, yeah, I'd say go down the trail.
Okay. Yeah, so I head back down the trail and shift back into human form once I'm clear, and just beckon Lenexia over.
Yeah. I'll turn up. I'll just take in all the sights and what we can see, and then I will follow and change. What, like, the windows? What kind of windows are they? Boarded up or anything? Or
No. So I mean, obviously, I try to grab art that's interesting. This might not be a perfect representation of the station, but the windows are not boarded up. They are there. In fact, the windows are one of the things that show recent replacement, so they're new windows.
okay.
They are, however, frosted, so you can see that they're lit from within, and you can see forms moving around within, but you can't really see in, other than vague shapes to see what's in there. And the building is definitely deeper than what the front windows would have, visual sight on anyway. Are you trying to see anything specific that I can be more specific about?
No, as soon as I changed back, I was going to send Crow to see how many people. But yeah, if they can get a better view from somewhere, or just count the shapes, as it were, just to get specific.
Yeah, you can send Crow to fly around the building, see if maybe they can get some sight line on what's going on inside. Yeah. Also, I will tell you, because you don't have the stats for Crow, so you wouldn't have known until I told you. You do know from experience that Crow is often pretty good at sussing out, like, not normal stuff. He has the ability to sense the supernatural.
Yeah. Okay.
So you can have him try to do that as well, and I'll report back on that in a bit after we go check in on Zeev and Benton. So, back to the insurance bros, the podcast bros.
Insurance bros is harsh, man. Don't want to be those people.
So you've gone and you picked up some things. It is nighttime here. It's not raining that bad in town. There's maybe a light drizzle. But you can definitely see a storm over the mountains in the distance. So yeah, you've got whatever you want, clipboards, some paper, some pens, whatever you want to do to, mock up your thing. And what do you do?
So this is his home that we're at. Do we know where his workplace is, though, or no?
So, interestingly enough, you don't recall seeing any indication of a workplace.
Okay. Just the home instead. Okay. And can we see sort of anything out of sorts around, like, we're not seeing sort of any, broken windows or smashed doors. Like everything looks relatively normal, or
so actually
out of place?
You do. So Ricard's home, it looks quite large, and in fact, it's not small. It's probably smaller than some American homes, but it definitely has kind of a more severe kind of utilitarian architectural sense to it, and in fact it looks almost exactly the same as all the other homes on this block. What that tells you, now that you're asking about it, is that this is realistically, and also the Dollar Tree on the other side of the road kind of speaks to this as well. This is obviously kind of like a low-income neighborhood. This looks to be just kind of cookie-cutter, thrown-up, plastic-hard, low-value home and housing for people. So it doesn't seem to go with what you know about Ricard, but maybe he's had some tough times, and like I said, you don't see any indication that he's employed anywhere. There are no lights on, and in fact, one of the upper windows, one of the smaller ones, that clearly is just some kind of a light source type window, not anything for viewing a wide expanse, does appear to be broken. There's some graffiti on the side walls of the home, but it looks like the front of the home has been repainted several times in somewhat not quite matching color, probably to cover up graffiti, as is the case with many of the homes along this particular way. And other than that, no, you don't see anything in particular, but yeah, you definitely get a sense of low income, kind of urban decay in this kind of location.
Okay.
I think at this point, I mean, we're all geared up. I'll ring the doorbell at the entrance.
So you ring the bell.
The car.
Okay. Beep boop. Well, assuming Jake has, that kind of security on his car. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe you've got an older style vehicle, the manual push lock. But, you knock on the door and go ahead. Why don't you both give me, since you are kind of keeping an eye on what's happening, give me a wits. Best for perception. There's a straight perception skill.
Okay.
Let's do.
Oh my.
Let's just do investigation. Wits investigation.
Wits and investigation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lions and tigers and bears, oh my.
That's really weird because it shows me as offline, and I'm trying to see if I can.
Oh, you shows online for me.
Okay.
Oh no, you
It
shows.
shows offline for me as well.
Yeah, you might just need to refresh.
All right.
Yes.
Let's. Sorry about that, guys.
What's it?
Yeah. Sometimes if you don't do anything.
Oh yeah, it'll auto
Yeah.
log me out and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where is investigation on this list? There it is. 2.
How are
For
you
that, 3
handling that
for
with the
wits.
IMT bot, Tony? Is there something that you're doing to keep it active that we can all kind of do?
I'm literally just going in every now and again and clicking on the word handouts.
Oh yeah.
That's literally all
Oh,
I'm doing.
okay. So, gotcha. So just click on a menu occasionally to keep it going. That makes
Are
sense.
you guys
Yeah.
using the website or the app?
I'm using the
Website.
app.
Both.
I'm gonna say I've got the app. So.
Okay.
He does it
using
on
the
both.
website.
So sorry. What role are we trying to do?
Wits and investigation.
So I've got a total of 5 for that. So that's what? So 2 red, 3 regular. No.
Correct. Don't forget to swap out your rage dice, depending upon your current rage.
2 successes.
Nice. Good.
And I have 2 and 2, so that's 4. And rage, I have 1. So I roll 3 and
3
1,
green.
correct?
1 red. Yep.
I need a quick reminder. Oh yeah. 3 green and 1 red. And let's see if this works. No, I have a bad thing on the rage.
Wow. So that only comes into play if you roll 2 of those, which you
Okay.
literally cannot do on 1 range die. But, Jake, you rolled a critical success. So that actually counts as 4 successes instead of just 2.
Okay.
So yeah, you both do really well. 2 is certainly enough. So as you knock, well, Jake, I assume you knocked since you said it. So Zaev knocks on the door and you're both just kind of waiting. You do hear movement inside, but no one comes to the door. And it's very faint movement. Like if you weren't actively trying to kind of, if you weren't investigating, let's put it that way, because clearly you're not here to do a podcast. If you weren't
Now, obviously, this is a very old and it's a decrepit. So I'm gonna actually on purpose, kind of maybe accidentally turn the handle or press the knob, see if the door opens.
Okay. So you put your hand on the knob and it feels loose. The door is locked, but you feel like it wouldn't take much for you to force it open. Should you?
No, yeah. Well, okay. So I'm actually going to like kind of trip on that, upper like step and kind of move my body in accidentally and basically open the door
Okay.
and stumble forward.
Yeah. Give me a strength and athletics check.
Okay,
Force
strength
the door.
and athletics. Okay, so
Now, this is a situation where if you had more rage and you rolled the brutal, 2 brutals on the rage, you would actually get more successes because you're trying to do something physical. But as it stands, 3 successes is enough. So as you trip and stumble into the door, with your hand kind of steadying yourself, but also twisting and trying to force in, the door does pop open. You hear a crack. You can see as the door opens that you've basically just kind of torn out the locking mechanism on the frame itself. You're a werewolf. You're strong. So,
and as that happens, I'm going to shout, sorry, excuse me, sorry, the door seems to have opened on its own. I don't know my strength. And I'm just kind of shouting this in. Hi, we're from HT, Horticultural today. I'm a Starsky, and this is my co-author, Hutch. We're here to interview Richard Muller. We had an appointment with Bridget Van Gelder, and she mentioned that she's, hello, is there anybody in there? As I'm kind of muttering excuses.
Sure. So, as you stumble inside, and you're going to get a whiff of this too, as well, Fenton. As you inhale to then, shout out to whoever is there, you just get a sense of decay and awful blood and organs, and you can see from the entryway that the entire interior of the house is just absolutely wrecked, but no one responds.
It smells like something's afoot.
Or a hand, or a heart.
Hutch, I don't think anybody's home. But look at this place. What a mess. Should we call the police? I'm saying this loud. I mean, this is, or maybe social services? What's that smell? Maybe they haven't had running water here in a while. Or maybe this Richard person is the king of horticulture. Like, I mean, he could be, this could be the big horticulturalist. I mean, environmentalist, doesn't waste water on cleaning products and stuff like that, looking only to grow, bringing back to earth. This could be the best horticultural interview we have ever done. This could make our careers.
That or he's composting in a cupboard somewhere.
Or do we call the police? And I'll step inside again, saying, "Hello, Richard Muller. Ken, we're from HT. We just wanted to get a few words for our article. Hello." And I'm gonna try to put something over my face to block the smell.
Well, I imagine you probably have like a handkerchief or something like that. Yeah, for sure. All right, so as you step inside, I think we will pop back over to our friends in the woods.
Okay. Yeah. Once the next is made a way over, I'll just say, take a few deep breaths while I'm doing so, and try and calm myself down a bit. The tracks from there led to a car possibly carrying something, maybe a body, but they've got in the car and they're fucking gone. They're fucking gone. They've done that dirt in the woods and they're fucking gone. I've got an idea how to find out details about the car though. Those cameras are obviously recording, or would hope they're recording. We could get inside the building, have a look at the cameras, and get a registration and vehicle type, and actually see who or what got in the car.
That's yeah. Oh, I mean that'd be really good. I mean, I was just gonna try and get the scent, but that's a very much better idea.
So Crow comes back and lands on the ground next to you and says, "No way in. Can't see."
No way in. How can there be no way in?
No way into the building.
There is some.
Everything closed. Keep in mind, Crow is physical. Crow can't take spirit form.
Yeah.
Like, it is a physical.
We could make him a way in.
You could.
Yeah, but if you make him away in that's. I mean, that'll draw people outside, I guess.
Well, it depends. There might be a grate or something on the roof. I mean, with it being what you are, it would be terribly difficult for either of you to find an opening in the building. You haven't been all the way around it. Crow could probably even lead you to something that you could open for him. However, I will need that securities roll to make sure that you're not seen by the cameras if you guys want to get into a position or get onto the roof or something.
I've got a plan.
Okay.
So obviously I just look like a dog. I've noticed Lenexia just looks like a dog.
Yep.
Has this building got any bins or anything? Like, it's bins outside, so they have trash collection.
So, Crow's done a once around the building, so I would imagine you're asking him, because he can talk to you too, like he's there. Yeah, and he says, ooh, treasure, yes.
So, if one of us, if we're both shift into wolf form, one of us goes for a dig through the trash, makes plenty of noise about it, gets someone to come outside, open the door, other one slips in.
Yeah.
Gets a look around. Maybe Crow can get inside at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can look for treasure.
Okay. Do you want me to go in with him, or we both look for treasure?
You can stay while I look for treasure. If I find anything, I'll keep it. But once the door's open, maybe go and have a look, because you can see if there's anything anywhere high, so you can see extra.
I go in.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, no roll for Lenexia. You're just gonna go find. Crow tells you where the bins are, like around the corner, and clearly, if you're gonna, well, assuming you're taking your wolf form again, assuming you're not doing this in human form,
Yeah.
that'd be a little weird.
That'd be weird.
That might also call out security, though. To be fair,
It'd still work.
yeah. So, yeah, it's you can see as you're kind of trotting up. I'm assuming, are you kind of acting like a curious dog, like a scavenging dog, or are you just gonna make a beeline? Are you trying to fly casual, or
Are we playing the part?
Right,
Yeah,
are you
yeah.
playing
I mean,
the part,
we're more
or-
used to playing the part, I think, so it would
sure,
come
yeah,
more
yeah.
naturally to just trot around.
So yeah,
sniff.
just kind of trotting up, looking around, sniffing, kind of doing the perimeter as animals would do. you can see that there are cameras that they're not tracking you, but obviously you're within sight of the cameras, even as you come around the corner to the bins. And then you want to make a production of like knocking them over and start rooting around in them.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think because I'll probably even make a show of like going as far as even barking, but at Crow. But obviously to Crow it's like more of a plaything, but barking.
Sure,
so
sure.
like you know, barking at the bird just you know. But then as soon as
Sure.
he comes out, he can fly away, and it's part of the thing.
Yeah.
While she's doing
So-
that, I'll take up position as close as I can to the door, but somewhere that's relatively out of sight, so I can dart in.
Oh, I see. So like slinking along the
Yeah.
wall, trying to stay out. Yeah, gotcha. All right. So here's the problem. This is Colorado. You're in the mountains. Most of the bins are going to be like anti-bear bins, right? So they're sturdy. They're metal. They're very difficult for like the. I don't know if you've ever seen an anti-bear bin, but they're not just your standard garden variety like plastic herb bin, right? The good news is that although there are anti-bear bins there's also a large kind of plastic trolley bin that is easy enough and kind of over full even, that is easy enough for you to knock over and start around it. From your position, I would say that Aaron hears kind of some, you know, again, what? I hate this so much. And your turn, Bill. Oh, God damn it, Jerry. You know, so it's muffled, but you can hear them very clearly arguing inside. And so the door opens and is pushed open with force, right? Like more than just a simple like, okay, well, I'm leaving. Just kind of just kicked open, and you can see that the door is set up to auto close. However, because he's frustrated, you're gonna have time to get in. So, question is anybody else gonna see? So let's go ahead and make a dexterity stealth roll with a bonus of 2, being in Lupus.
And a bonus of 1 from my Silent Strider ability, Owl.
Ah, there you go.
Nice.
That'll be 6 successes.
Wow. Okay. So
Dude.
very quickly, but also very carefully, you notice your way into. You don't see anyone else there. The building is kind of set up in a couple of different areas on the inside. So you see that you've got a clear shot, although there are lights on. You can move very quickly and very quietly into a position where you're inside, you're out of the way. But if you move into a room that has any people in it, like, they're gonna see you. Like, there's stealth can't help you there. But so far, you've been quite lucky, and you're inside. Aaron has made it into the security office. You're in kind of like what appears to be kind of like a waiting room or an intake room. There are a couple of seats, there's a door, and there is on your right a wall that has a window in it that you are well below at this point, but it is one of those kind of windows with a cutout in it where you can speak to someone. And Crow, pursuant to the plan, flies in with you as the door clicks shut. Now, before we get to what you're gonna do, let's move to Tony. Tony, a security guard with no firearm, I will point out,
I was worried about that. I thought, just as the door kicked open, I thought, shit, this guy might have a semi-automatic or something.
Well, he does. I shouldn't say no firearm. He does have a weapon holstered on his belt, as well as what appears to be some kind of possibly a hand taser. He does have a pistol that you can see very quickly. But again, he's just going to see a dog, so he doesn't have a weapon out. He comes around the corner. It's like, go on, get out of there.
I'm just gonna still act like a dog, but still trying to grab some food or something before he gets too close. And if I saw anything shiny, I'd try and grab that, to be honest.
Okay. So he pulls out a really long flashlight that you imagine is also quite dense. Sometimes such things are used as clubs, and he bangs the anti-bear can next to you, which is metal. Get out of here! Kong, kong, making noise, advancing on you. His posture is not such that it looks like he's going to attack you. And Aaron, you're definitely hearing this inside. You also hear laughter from the next room. As far as if you see anything shiny in there to grab, I don't know, roll a check die for me. See if you find anything shiny that you think I like. Or any die, it doesn't really chances of success are the same. Okay, so yeah, you don't see anything particularly interesting for Crow.
That's fine.
But
yeah.
you did just recently gave him something. But it doesn't hurt to have presence on hand.
No. I assume I've learned that the hard way, maybe.
Yeah. There is the remains of a half-eaten sandwich, though, that you find. Would you like to eat it?
I'll just grab it and kind of just run.
Okay.
I will just move away and out, just to out of sight.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I won't require a stealth check for that. It's easy enough for you. So inside, what are you thinking?
Can I get a bit of a lay of the land? How many people do I think's in here? Bit of an idea of maybe where I might find the security office. It might be this thing right at the side of me, potentially, actually, if that's the reception area.
Your guess is the security office is right there.
Right. I'm not going to obviously look because I'd reveal myself, but I'm going to listen and sense as best I can. Do I think there's somebody inside that reception/security room?
Oh, absolutely. You heard laughter.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And how many other people in the building do I think there is?
Based on the laughter, you'd guess there's probably 2 more in the security office.
So it's 3 people in total, 1 outside, 2 inside. Is that correct?
Correct. That's correct.
Can I? Sorry, I just had a thought. As he goes back in, I'm gonna make noise, maybe even howl, to signal that he's on his way back in.
Okay.
But
so you don't need to do that yet because it looks like he's trying to do some cleanup. Because you made a bit of a mess, so he's gonna, kind of pick some stuff up and put it back in the bin, and it looks like he's trying to transfer some of the overflow to the bear can, so that it can't get knocked over again. He might be he's looking around, maybe he's looking for a way to kind of steady the bin to make sure it can't get knocked over again. So you bought Aaron some time.
okay.
But yeah, as soon as he starts to go back in, howl.
Thanks. Is there a kitchen or a kitchenette in here?
You would imagine so, but it's difficult to say. As I said, you've got a door there, and being an intelligent wolf as you are, I will allow you to open in your wolf should you choose. There are no cameras that you can see in this room. Cameras on the outside.
Is there chairs and stuff in here?
There are some chairs to your left. Yeah, like I said, it appears kind of like a seating room. So there's some chairs on the left-hand side, the window on the right. It looks like maybe if you wanted to, you'd be able to open the door without being seen, unless somebody is standing right at the window.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to try and quietly get through the door and get away from this person and hopefully not towards people. And my current thought is to get to the kitchen to cause some kind of distraction in the kitchen and then loop back to the security room.
Okay. So, yeah, without having to devolve into like specific schematics and floor plans, I would say yes. At this point, there's probably just a few people on shift. It's not like this office building, right? Like it's just a security station. And yeah, you can get through the door. It sounds like there's still just the people in the security office that are just kind of having a conversation and kind of laughing at the fact that Jerry has to like clean up after some stupid dog. And you kind of open the door onto what appears to be a hallway. There's a couple of other doorways to what looks to be like a storage closet. Yes, you can find like a small kind of kitchen / cafeteria break room. There is what appears to be a elevator with a keypad on it. And then there are a couple of other doors. One you're almost certain heads into the security office. And then the other one, if you kind of peek through it, it's open, but it is a closable door. It has a stairwell that goes up. You're guessing there's probably some, I don't know, additional administrative space upstairs, or maybe they're not using it yet, or maybe it's just unused currently.
Okay.
What do you want to do in the kitchen?
If I'm alone, I'm going to quietly shift back to human form.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to grab a handful of cutlery. I'm going to stick it in the microwave and turn the microwave on.
Oh.
Okay.
And then I'm going to shift back to wolf form, move back to a position that puts me on the other side of the security door, and wait for the carnage.
Okay.
I see Scooby-Doo where he enters one door in the hallway and then comes out the other door across the hallway, and everybody's going back and forth.
You could probably kind of duck into, based on the layout, you could probably duck into the stairwell and wait for them to come out of the security just to react.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, that goes off relatively without a hitch, depending upon how long you set the timer for.
Say for an hour. I wanted to do the business.
So microwaves do what they're gonna do when you stick metal in them, especially a large handful of metal cutlery. And there's a short an explosion, and not only does it explode, it shorts out the entire building.
Oh, nice.
Well, I don't know if that's necessarily nice, depending on what he wanted to do in the security office.
Once I know it's clear, I want to get in there, and I was going to have a look at the camera, but now it looks like I'm just grabbing the recording device and getting out of there.
Okay. So, you see two guys run out, head down to the canteen. That'll give you time to get into the security office. Why don't you make a quick investigation and call it wits, not intelligence, because you have to be quick about it.
Okay.
To see if you can find a storage device of some type.
Okay. No bonuses on this though, is there?
No, being a wolf wouldn't give you any bonus on this.
Okay. 4 successes.
Okay. So, yeah, it you can very quickly amongst everything, even in the dark. Although, so I guess being a wolf in that case was helpful. You can find what looks to be the storage banks where they have some drives kind of plugged in. You would imagine it's probably something that you could just pull and take with you. They're gonna know, but you know, not much you can do about that. Yeah. So, what's your plan to get out on this caper?
I'm just going for it. I'm just gonna use speed and stealth, 50-50 of both, and just hope that I get out. If I get seen, I get seen.
So
but
you're not gonna shit. You're just gonna pull this out with your.
I'm just gonna get up on the counter and go.
Okay.
And off I go.
So go ahead and give me another stealth test to see if you can, because they're still in there mucking about with the microwave, to see if you can just run past them and get out the door.
Okay, so are we in darkness now?
You are in darkness, so yeah, you're going to get a bonus of 2 dice for that, and 2 dice for being a wolf. So yeah, you can
I'll spend the point of willpower to activate my Eyes of the Owl as well, so I don't do anything daft in the dark.
Very nice. Okay.
Yeah, and I shall.
Is that a roll for Eyes of the Owl?
I don't believe so. It just activates. So it just does. I just looked at it a little while ago. No, sorry, not Eyes of the Owl. It's a different one, but similar sort of thing. 1 second. Oh, so yeah, it is Eyes of the Owl. Yeah, one. What is 1 willpower? It's a free action. Last one scene.
And it's just active for a scene. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. So yeah, that actually helps you very well to pull the drive and get out. I'm gonna say you don't even need to. It's dark. You're in lupus form. You're pretty skilled anyway. You know the layout, so yeah, you can go ahead and just kind of slip past them while they're fumbling about with flashlights, trying to figure out what's going on. Luckily enough, or possibly unsurprisingly, it looks like the fuse box for the building is in the same room as the in the kitchen area, so they're kind of working on that, and that lets you get out. So what do? You've got your drive. You exit the building.
Leg it out the building. Spot Lynexia, if possible. As soon as I pick her up, head straight towards her. And then
now, so there's not even going to be any indication that a wolf with a drive in his mouth ran past.
Yeah. So just make sure I'm. Head for Lynexia, then just make sure we're clear.
Cool. All right. So as you two clear the station, we're going to pop back over to Fenton and Zev, who have stepped into Card Muller's house.
Hey, Fenton. I mean Hutch. If only Mrs. King was here. I hear she has a Pro camera. Could take a picture of everything here. Would have been really great. But, geez, look at this place.
Yeah, this place is packed.
That is unfortunate. This place is a mess for sure. I mean, can't even tell how long it's been uninhabited for from the looks of it. I think we need to see if we can find any evidence of where this Rocco fellow might have gone. Sorry, Roscoe. Sorry, Ricardo.
Richard, yeah, but
it's Rickard.
Why would this Van Gelder give us this place to come to? Obviously, he doesn't live here. And I'm saying this loud enough to be heard by whoever is around the place. And I'm going to start investigating.
So are you investigating in human form, lupus form? you guys want to do?
Well, I'm in human form.
I think we'd be in human form.
Right,
We're
I
going to
am.
turn up as podcasters, right?
Well, yeah, that's true.
I suppose we've got
And you did
no
hear some
sense of
movement,
anybody
yeah.
being around. Like we've heard a little bit
Well,
of movement, but
You
Like
heard a
it
little
was
bit of
faint.
movement, but yeah, no one has responded, and you don't get a sense that there's necessarily anybody. As you are looking around, the front room is just, it's not great. So art has been, it's clear from the walls that there once were some pieces of art up, where you can see where frames have been on kind of room walls, but they've been pulled down. There is, despite all that, a cork board with a sheet of paper kind of pinned to it. There is not depicted, because I mainly just wanted to depict like a place being wrecked, but there is still a couch. It looks kind of musty and kind of threadbare, but on just, I don't know, like an overturned milk crate in front of the couch, there's also a laptop that is sitting there. And that's what you see in the front room. And then the front room goes back into, looks like there's a small hallway that goes back further. Maybe you're guessing it looks like a kitchen, but like there's it has to be a freezer that's kind of sticking out, kind of almost blocking the entryway into the kitchen. And then maybe there's another doorway in that short hallway. There's no lights on, but there's some moonlight, so it's not totally dark in here.
Is the laptop plugged into a power outlet?
It is not.
Does it look like it's on, or is it completely off?
You don't see any lights currently indicating that it's on, no.
I'm gonna move, just tap the keyboard to see if it was just maybe in sleep mode and it's coming up. I want to know if this was yeah.
So it doesn't come up,
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that it's drained.
No, I know. I just want to know if somebody was recently sitting there and ran away or not. So I don't have any indication that that's the case.
No.
I'll nod to Hutch and point towards the kitchen where the refrigerator is, slightly obscuring it, the doorway.
And as you were looking at the computer, though, I will point out to you that kind of on the ground next to you, it looks like, well, it doesn't look like, it is the computer's charger cable is laying there, just kind of not, the computer end is not connected to the computer, and if you follow the cable to where it would have been plugged into the wall, it looks like it's been pulled out of this wall.
Yeah, obviously they're trying to save power.
Okay, so I think I'd make my way towards the what we think is the kitchen.
Okay, so as you move into the small hallway, you do see very quickly that it does kind of cut to the side as well, and it looks like there's 2 additional rooms off of that kind of, this is like a T hallway, and then again what's probably the kitchen.
Okay, so I think I'd sort of say back to Starsky back in there. I'm just gonna check out what's in here. You see if you can get that laptop working. See if you can find out what's on it.
Yeah.
Now, are you guys using your phones for lights, or do you have flashlights or something?
I think we do.
Again, it's dark. It's nighttime.
It is, okay. There's no light switch? That's true. I would probably turn on the light.
Instinctively try to turn on the light? Yeah. No power.
Well, why do they have that plug going into the wall then?
No, it's
I guess I am using cell phone. I know it's been pulled out, but yeah, I understand. Okay, I will. I'll be using my cell phone light.
Okay,
can I get past this fridge thing in the kitchen?
Yeah, you can. You gotta kind of squeeze a little bit to get past it, but you certainly can.
Suck in the bagels, breathe it in, squidge in past there.
So it looks like this. It's definitely a freezer. It's kind of a long, kind of case deep freezer, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And it has to have been pushed kind of partially in this direction, but you don't really know why, because it looks like there's plenty of space for it in that wall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to open the freezer.
Okay, so you open the freezer, take a look around. Why don't you give me a wits or intelligence investigation? As you're checking out the freezer and kind of looking around the kitchen as well, you can see that there doesn't appear to be really any food or anything of the kind. There's some plastic plates and open containers on several of the counters. There's lots of ants and cockroaches enjoying the feast that's been left for them.
Sure. Okay, so intelligence is for what we're doing. Intelligence and what now?
Investigation.
Intelligence and investigation. Okay, so that's going to be 6. So we're going to do 4 green, 2 rage. Come on, Papa needs a brand new bag. Let's go. 1, but it's a critical, right?
2.
So,
No, you have to get 2 of them the same.
Ah,
You have to get the 2.
1.
what?
But still, one success. One success
I
is
can't
enough
count.
for you to see something kind of stuck on the interior wall of the freezer. There's no shelves or anything in here, right? So if there was any kind of like separation in this freezer, it's been moved. But as you're kind of looking around inside, you can see, man, what is that? Like tufts of hair, kind of stuck to the inside wall, maybe.
Yeah, 'cause you could fit a body in here, right? Wow. Yeah. Okay. Does it smell like the this is where the slightly horrid smell that we were smelling is coming from?
So,
or, like, has this thing been
no.
off for a while?
It doesn't smell great in here. It's difficult, without being in lupus form, I'd say it's difficult for you to pinpoint where smells are coming from.
Right.
You just got your regular old human nose. It all smells bad in here.
Right. Okay. Anything else sort of interest in the kitchen area? I mean, are we sort of getting the sense this place has been empty of human activity for quite some time?
For a while, yeah.
Yeah.
By the state of some of the food that's left on the counters, you would guess a few days at least.
Okay. I mean, if there's nothing of much interest in the kitchen other than tufts of hair or whatever it is in the sort of freezer there, I'd probably move on to the other rooms.
Do you want to take the hair, or is that not something you want to look deeper? Just leaving it up there as an option.
I mean, I don't. I left my vials in the other pants, back at home. I don't think I've got anything to safely carry hair around and not contaminate it.
You know where it is if you want to come back.
I know where it is. If we want it, I'd definitely tell Starsky about it in the other room. I think I'd report back that there's not much else.
Look, I'm definitely not going through this guy's browser history on his computer. That's for sure.
So yeah, what are you looking at in the living room, Jake?
I'll power on the laptop. Check to see if it powers on. Is there?
I did say there was a cork board with like something.
Yes, with something in it. Yes, you're right. My mind. I would like to see what that says. Yes. Though.
Oh, okay.
Yes. My curiosity was piqued, and then
I'm just making sure that I mentioned it.
Yeah, I have the attention span of a jumping jack. That's
Right.
just what it is.
So, yeah, as I said, there's a note pinned to the cork board, and I will make that note available.
It says, please clean this place. Or,
Yeah, please.
sorry,
clean up.
Lucy.
Remember to take out the trash.
We had a really bad party. Yeah, I'm not feeding the rats here and changing the water for the rats in this location. Handouts, right?
Nope. It's going to be in the journal.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Oh.
Oh, it's the list, is it?
List.
Oh, well, hang on. Some of these people are different from the other list, aren't they?
Endron.
But
Isn't
we've got some numbers.
Anard Parash, was that this significant other, or?
No, so
Oh,
the
guess so.
only name on this list that has any connection to the Horticultural Club is Hannah Hart.
And Birgit
all
Van
of-
Gelder, actually, was the one.
Oh, and Birgit Van Gelder. All of
Yeah,
the
Birgit.
other names are new to you.
Well,
But
Birgit
Harcourt's
is,
written there in what, blood, red ink? What we do?
So it's a good question. And although you're looking at other parts of the house, I'll go ahead and answer it. Because I imagine at some point you'll look at it as well. What you're getting from this note, it's written in ink. But from what you can tell, the typed note and all of these numbers, phone numbers, are actually to you. Just kind of like, I did that with the art because I didn't want anybody actually dialing random phone numbers.
yeah.
But those
Right.
numbers are all clear to you guys, and all of these people have numbers attached to them. You can verify that that is in fact Birgit Van Gelder's phone number. Called earlier today, but Hannah Harcourt's name here, it's written in ink, but it seems strange to you because it seems like that's not the handwriting of a person who's this much of a stickler for detail, right? Like somebody who writes out a list like this on their laptop and prints it out, they don't have this kind of handwriting. This seems odd to you. But anyway, so yeah, not blood, just ink.
Almost like it's somebody else's list that somebody else now is adding to.
Maybe. Yeah. That wouldn't be the worst thought, I guess I should say.
We
So,
should probably tell Birgit to kind of not come home so soon.
It'd be interesting to try and get across to her. But, so yeah, you've got that, and you also wanted to look at his laptop, right?
Yeah, and then I'm going to do a Google search for Endron.
Okay. So opening up his laptop, it does power up. So the battery still has some power. It is, as I'm sure you expected, password locked.
I'm going to put in the password Endron.
Oh, pardon me. That is incorrect.
I'm going to try again, assuming that I misspelled Endron.
That is incorrect.
All right, I know there's some sort of skill, but I don't, like, I have to look somewhere for the password, and somehow using the first letter of everybody's name on this list won't do it either for me. So I think I'm just going to grab the laptop and then remove the hard drive and then see the data that's on the hard drive later on.
Oh, okay. You can certainly do that. That's still going to be password protected, right?
Well, it depends on how they do it. If there's no encryption on the drive, then by attaching it to another computer, it just is going to see it. And then at worst, on my computer that I'm an administrator on, I could then change the permissions on basically the drives of an external drive. So it really depends on if they're using encryption or not on the drive. If they've encrypted the drive, no. Otherwise, it's pretty simple. Let that be a warning to everybody. Never give away old
Don't give
IT
away your hard
equipment.
drive. Yeah.
Don't give away old IT equipment unless you
Especially
remove
not
the hard
ones
drive.
where all
and
the
keep it.
bodies are buried. That'd be crazy.
Right.
Keep that one in the stock drawer.
Especially
Okay,
if you
so-
have questionable browser history.
Only shipping containers, it's fine.
So
Piano wire.
you pull the hard drive, no trouble.
No, yeah, well, that'll probably be done like at a later time, yeah. But
Oh, you just grabbed the laptop.
I'm grabbing the whole laptop.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
yeah. Turning it off again to conserve power, just in case, or
Yeah, because I'm green, if nothing else.
fair. All right. So you've got
But
the
there's
laptop.
not. Sorry. So the other question is there anything on the back or bottom of the laptop written as take the power cord, obviously, so I'll be able to use it. Anything?
No, but would you like to search the living room to see if you can find?
Sure. Yeah, I'm very interested in searching this place. However, I'm still concerned about the fact that I heard noises here. So again, Benton. Hutch. This is a 4.5. 2 other bedrooms. Give them a quick look, maybe, while I search this place.
So I'm assuming by this point I've searched the other 2 rooms as I said I was going to do. Didn't find anything. I'm assuming I've not come across anything.
I can run through those real quick for you. Yeah. So the first bedroom you come to, that would be to your left as you walk down that side hall, which would put it kind of right next to the kitchen, although having a separate entry. This looks to be a bedroom. It's also a mess. Piles of refuse, books, make even stepping inside difficult. There is a broken bed in a box pushed to the side to make room for something. Most of the piles and stuff seems to be largely kind of untouched, just kind of shoved off to the side. But there's one pile nearest to the bed that looks like it's seen a lot of use. It's a pile of books, magazines, printouts, even newspapers, easily a half a meter tall. The books on the bottom, looking at spines, it looks like they're kind of like generic, like store-bought, almost like big bookstore, like witchcraft and cult books. Something you'd find at any kind of chain bookstore. But if you look at some of the stuff closer to the top, there's like newspaper pages and printouts about businesses, corporations, you come about entering. There are printouts of conversations online, like who's out logs of conversations. Like some of them are like Reddit conversations. Some of them are from boards that don't look familiar to you. Maybe like dark web type stuff. Almost always, everything you pick up, there's some kind of a discussion of the occult.
Okay. Is there anything in there that, as I'm reading, that would make me think about what the Nexia showed us with the bodies on the phone? Anything linking sort of directly to that I think we might want to take that with us? I can't imagine I'd want to be picking up all of this stuff, or even be able to. But is there anything that sort of immediately jumps out at me as I'm scouring through it?
Make a resolve occult test for me.
Jesus, right. So we've got 2 resolve. What have I got on my occult? I've got 2 occult, so 4 dice. 2 regular, 2 rage. Come on. Two successes.
Okay. So, as you're kind of working your way through all this material as quickly as you can, but you find kind of closer to the top, you get a sense of like a finality, like a finishing of research, and you even spot some bits of information that seem to link this to destruction, vengeance, personal benefit through the ruination of others, and even in a couple of spots you see mention of the spiral. And so yeah, you can grab that stuff to take a closer look at it later, like. Now, also on top, the very top of the pile, and this took no roll to find, probably something you're going to grab as well. Collection of social media stories about people attacking and bludgeoning loved ones.
Okay.
Mueller has made notes, margins, marking incidents, processes that he indicates are like waste of energy, waste energy. This could be harvested. And then paper clipped to some of these articles about the bludgeoning and assault of other people, notes about harvesting energy, paper clipped photos of Jack Bates and Mitchell Erickson, Aisha Kreider, and Joy and Hannah Hart, all of the members of the Cultural Club.
Okay.
And as you look up, you see other pictures in cluster corresponding to each participant. Pictures are all taken from.
Hang on, I'm struggling to hear you there, bro.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as
Audio.
you look up and kind of glance around the room, you see that more pictures of the Horticultural Club are pinned to the walls.
Yeah.
And they're kind of grouped in collections of pictures of one person. And all of these pictures appear to have been taken surreptitiously. They seem to be taken from inside buildings out through windows, or in a couple of occasions you might see like the slats of mini blinds kind of obscuring the view of the person from a distance and maybe zoomed in so that the background seems fuzzy.
Okay. And do these appear to be in any sort of order, or?
So they're grouped together by person, but as you are looking at it and noticing, you see that
See the spiral?
spirals.
Yeah. I lost that last bit again. You keep sort of fading out a little bit.
Sorry, they're in spirals.
Yeah.
As you said.
And would I sort of automatically think that this is where the bodies were placed in the ground for these people? Like in the order that you guys
potentially.
found them?
That's a really good thought. Not having seen specifically the layout, like you didn't really get like an overhead view.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's possible if you're thinking about what was described to you, that maybe it could have some indication.
Yeah.
There's also at the very top of the pile a manila folder that has handwritten notes about a ritual where Muller details step by step the torment of the dogs. And you're like, dogs? Jake, make a wits awareness test for me.
All right. Wits 2. Awareness.
I don't get a good feeling about this.
Oh, this is gonna be fun. I love it when things turn out like this. All right, let's try it.
Jake doesn't have a lot of wits and awareness.
I have no awareness whatsoever.
Okay.
I've crafted this person after my own personal.
Yeah, no,
rates.
that's fine. So a single success isn't enough for you to be prepared, but we'll say you're not surprised. However, as a part of that single success, I'm also going to give you this, because as you're searching the living room, you do find taped to one of the bits of detritus, maybe an overturned coffee table or something like that, you find this.
Multhreer.
Sure looks like a password to you.
Mul3R. What are they trying to tell me here?
But
is that a capital M or is it two N's together? Nanular.
As you pull that tape from the whatever it's attached to, something leaps at you from the direction of the kitchen. something that remained hidden somehow. Hutch, I guess.
Yeah, I have to speak to Hutch about that. His name is Hutch, and he didn't check it.
I didn't see it, man. I didn't see it. Ah, shit.
Okay.
Come on. How do I miss a massive, great big black dog?
So, you notice a couple of things as this creature leaps at you.
My life flashing before my eyes, number one.
Maybe. So, as you kind of look up in surprise as this thing leaps at you, it's a Doberman, right? That's very clear. You're familiar with different breeds of dogs. But this poor animal looks like it's been tortured. Its body has been cut in several places. I would even go so far as to say flayed somewhat. There's the way that its limbs are kind of moving. It appears to have been broken and not healed correctly. And around its neck, it has a collar, a chain that can only be described.
Sorry, it's what?
And it's barbed wire, and it's digging into the flesh
Oh, no.
of our animal. And its eyes are glowing red.
Yeah, that's the least disturbing part of this, what's happened to this animal, to be honest.
So,
I think
you know
instinctively,
yeah, go ahead. No, tell me what you would instinctively do.
Instinctively, with the laptop in my hand, I would kind of raise it to protect myself. And I'm going to feel bad, but instinctively probably just like whack it on the head with the laptop. And I feel very bad for doing that to this animal.
So why don't you then... So combat in Werewolf, particularly hand-to-hand combat, is probably one of my favorite things about the system. It's an opposed test. Combat is opposed. It's not they attack you and you defend, and you attack them and they defend. You're both fighting for your life. So you need to roll, since you're attacking laptop. It's a blunt object. I'm going to give you a +1 for that because you essentially have a club. It's not a slim laptop. This is an old chunker, right?
So I can't use technology for this attack?
No, you can't use technology. That's funny, though. I'm using a laptop. I get to use technology. But you're going to roll strength and melee. Since you're using a weapon. And you'll get a +1 die on the laptop itself.
Right. So when I say using technology, it means opening it up, exposing the browser history to the dog. Aha!
Look at this! Oh.
Okay.
That's funny, too.
Strength is... So strength brawl, right?
No, melee.
Or melee. Okay, so melee is... Okay. This one. So... All right, not bad. 3 successes, I think.
Okay.
And of course, I'll say, "Down, Cujo! Down, Cujo!"
All right. Finally, I got my dice back. That's correct.
Fair.
Okay, so they get 4 successes compared to your... so the dog is leaping through the air. You try to smack it with the laptop, but you misjudge your swing on the airborne target, and it manages to not get a full bite on your forearm, but it definitely is able to scrape your and do a little bit of damage. Now let me make sure. Yes, I should. I think. So they're gonna do 2 points of damage.
Ooh.
Normally it would only be 1, but as it catches your arm just briefly with that almost bite, you also feel a burning on your skin, as if the creature's saliva is caustic.
Yeah. Fenton, animal control, and an ambulance.
So, Fenton is in the other room. You hear now this scuffle starting to happen in the living room, which is not far away, and the animal has still not made a sound. Like, it's not barking, it's not howling. It just attacked you. It's not even growling, which is very strange.
No, I would probably know that this is some sort of manifestation of human in canine form.
So, since you're thinking about it now, I'm going to go ahead and give you a free action to make a wits occult, if you like.
Okay. Okay. I know that people are people, and wolves are wolves, and dogs are dogs with red eyes.
So one success is enough to tell you that this is clearly not enough. You're assuming it's probably spirits don't manifest like this, so your guess is that it's been possessed.
Oh.
By some kind of spirit. Okay, Fenton. Jake has called out. You hear sounds of a scuffle.
So, did it take any time specifically to change form? Because my instinct here is that I would change form before running in.
So, changing form, this is where it gets really interesting. Changing form is considered to be a minor action. Now, what that means in Werewolf is that you can do whatever you're going to do, but if you want to make changing form part of that, you're going to suffer a 2-die penalty. Because you're taking the time to change forms.
I see.
Now, I will also remind you all at this point, because you're all fairly full, with the exception of Aaron, who's just spent some. You can also use willpower to roll dice. It's not just to fuel your gifts. You can also use it to, give you that determination, which can help when you're taking penalties.
Okay.
Which form are you thinking about shifting to?
Well, I would think I'd probably, on hearing some sort of shuffle, probably switch to something like Hispo form, maybe, if I'm hearing some sort of scuffle.
Okay.
Not knowing what it is from the other room.
Sure.
But hearing Zeev call out, that one feels like it's probably the way to go.
Okay. So a Hispo transformation, if you look at your handouts, I believe is a rage check.
Okay.
Yep. So you're going to roll a check die. Technically, any die would do. Just like check dice for checks.
And as you come into the room in Hispo form, I'm going to scream out, Fenton, there's another one!
So, I assume you know what Fenton's form. Although maybe you guys haven't shown
I don't
to each other at this point.
I don't think I would have.
I'll leave that to you. So
Do us boys usually get together and show each other's forms? Is this kind of game? I'm for it, but
I don't know. It's up to you. It's your path.
We're doing all kinds of things tonight.
I mean, you're werewolf. So a failed check die on a transformation, or in fact on a skill use, doesn't mean that the transformation of the skill doesn't happen. In fact, what it means is you lose a point of rage, right? So the rage check is to see if your rage stays hot. Speaking of which, Jake, you just took some damage.
I did.
You assume a supernatural creature. You get a point of rage.
Oh, I like it and I don't at the same time. All right, let's put 2 in there.
So I believe you're now up to 2.
Yes,
All right,
I am.
so
I am in the danger zone.
the only problem on a failed rage check is if your rage is reduced to 0, which I don't think it will be in your case.
No, fine. I had 2, so if I failed one, you say I lose
Okay,
one.
so you're
I'm
down
just
to
down
1.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so that's fine. So yeah, you're in Hispo form. What do you do?
Get up.
Yeah, fuck this thing up. I think I'd probably pounce at it with my claws, I imagine.
Okay, so yeah, you come tearing around the corner. You
instinctively
pounce at it.
Rah, you know.
You're gonna get a 2-die bonus for combat because you're in more of a supernatural form at this point. And you also deal aggravated damage with your bite, which is important because that can really hurt supernatural things. So yeah, go ahead and make your. So it's a natural attack, so it would be brawl. So you're gonna roll strength and brawl, +2, but -2 because you shifted.
Okay, so strength is
That cancels.
3, brawl is 0.
So you got 3 dice.
Cancel each other out,
So
so we've got 3 dice.
2 green, 1 red.
2 green, 1 red. 2 green, 1 red. Let's go.
It's not bad.
2 successes. It's more than I get on Tinder. Let's go.
And as you tear into the room and leap to attack, the creature spins and gets to defend itself.
Oh, come on. Ah, shit.
Okay, so 4 successes to your 2, you're going to take 3 points of damage. And again, you feel the same thing. So as you rush in, it spins on you and snaps at you as you are trying to snap at it.
Yep.
And take 2 points of damage. Oh, I should note, however, you're in a supernatural form now. This is even more interesting. So Jake, you were at a normal, which is why you took 2 points of damage.
Right.
In a supernatural form, you have what's known as enhanced defenses, essentially, because now you're supernatural. So when you take superficial damage, which this creature is doing, you automatically have it before you take the damage.
Okay,
so
it's only 1.
It does 3 points of damage. I'm going to have it, and we round down because rounding up doesn't make sense. So yeah, you take 1 point of damage as it nips at you, as you kind of tear into the room, get into position, and you feel that same
The same what, sorry?
burning sensation.
Same burning, right. I'm just taking this off health, am I?
Yes, health.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
Wow.
So, Jake, what are you doing?
Well, I've already been bit. I see the other wolf there. I think it makes sense for me to open up the computer, power it back on, and then try that password. No, I am going to take another whack at this thing. I mean, it's on me, it's scratching me, it burns a lot. So, I'm going to, probably treat it more like an animal. I know enough about this thing, and I know I've got to take it out. So I'm actually going to try to swing into it on the side of its head. And I hate to say this as a person, but as my character, I'm kind of hoping to hit it in the collar so that the spike will dig deeper into the throat.
Okay. So let me ask you this. As a part of your attack, now that you're both in the same room and dealing with the same foe, do you want to make your attack in an attempt to deal damage yourself, or do you want to provide assistance to this other, much larger wolf that has entered the room that you assume is Fenton?
Yeah, I'm going to provide
give him additional
assistance
dice. Okay.
to Fenton, so it'll all be like kind of, because I mean, I human against human, okay, but human against this, I think that Fenton has a better chance. So I will give my, I will do my attack to try to distract to make it easier for Fenton to subdue this creature.
Okay. So that's going to give Fenton an extra die. Fenton, you can go ahead and make your attack now, because again, you were the last person the dog engaged with, so it's going to be attacking you as Jake tries to distract it. So they happen at the same time. There's no initiative in Werewolf. It's just when things make sense, they happen. So, so you don't have the -2 penalty this time, so you get the +2 bonus for being Hispo. So I believe now you're up to 5 dice, +1 from Jake, so that's 6 dice.
Okay. So 5 green, 1 rage.
Nice. 4.
That's better.
Outstanding.
All right, before I roll, 4's good, don't get me wrong, but before I roll, do you want to spend willpower to re-roll any dice?
I mean, that feels sensible, right?
So I believe, if I recall correctly, you can spend 1 willpower to re-roll up to 3 dice. So I think 2 dice to re-roll is. If it were only 1 die, I would say don't waste a willpower on a single die. But
yeah, feels worthwhile.
I think so.
boy, I didn't think you guys were going to charge right into this place. So.
Should we take
investigated it. We charged.
Yeah, we don't hang around.
Yeah, up to 3 dice. So, yeah, you can spend 1 willpower to those 2.
1 willpower, reroll 2, spend that, and then just what? It hit green 2, yeah.
Yeah, just roll 2 more green dice. Yeah.
Ooh.
That means that it's 4 plus. That's
7.
amazing.
Yeah, so we're at 1, 2,
No,
3,
8.
4, 5, 6,
That's
7,
5.
8 total successes. 8. That's huge.
Yes.
All right, here comes the creatures.
So you did it.
17.
So
it's
1,
2, 4, 6, or is like 3 of those doubles mean 12?
You have to have 2, so it's only 6. So yeah, you beat it by 2. So you're going to do 2 points of damage plus 1 additional point aggravated. So 3 aggravated damage. Explain to me how you damage this creature before we take our break.
Oh, fuck.
You haven't killed it, but you dealt it a pretty strong blow. Right?
Dealt a fairly strong blow. Okay. Cool. Is there any chance that with that kind of damage, I would have been able to take off one of his back legs?
Absolutely.
Fantastic. That works for me. I think a slice it, pull a leg clean off there, especially with the way some of these have been badly pinned on.
You don't think this thing has suffered enough already? Really?
No, it attacked. It's going down. This is not.
So as you rip one of the hind legs off, as you're kind of circling each other to try and get a hold as animals would do, right? You grab onto its hind leg and rip it off. And there's no blood.
Ah, shit.
And we'll take a break.
Oh!
Okay, yeah, on that bombshell. We'll be back in 3. Okay.
I think I need to go hug my family. I'll be back soon.
Okay, I'll be back soon.
You think your civil war is overhuman. empire is still crumbling. Your enemies have gained power. Now it's our time to crush your pathetic empire. Chaos is coming for your people. Chaos is coming for you.
This was me. Well, not really, but you get the point. I always loved stories, and not just the fonts and pictures, but the heroes and settings that they painted in an extraordinary light. I always loved cracking a new book and learning what villain would be vanquished by an unsuspecting hero. Or finding a new hidden spot to read about the forbidden passion between two unsullied lovers. I would read about the elves of the forest, and the dangerous lands that they would call their home. I would dream about the sailors of the west and the ships assaulted by gigantic beasts from underwater, or the mermaids who would eventually lure those brave men to their deaths. I could imagine the beating wings and formidable roar of a wyvern's fire, or the ancient cities that were once laid to waste from that same beast. I can see through the eyes of the woodland druids and their ability to reshape and fly. I can feel the heat of the blacksmith's fire, while the clerics are doing their work in the camps of battle. These stories are not just read, they're imagination. So hold steady and let me tell you a story of Dungeons and Dragons.
Warning. The following content may contain strong language, adult themes, descriptions of violence, blood, gore, and death. This is an over 18 channel. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello, we are back and ready to see how this goes. Back to Brian.
Alright, so having ripped the rear leg off of this creature and seeing no blood fly as you pull this leg free. I mean, this clearly was a Dober at some point. But it might be a little shocking to you. Unfortunately, it's not Call of Cthulhu, so there's no sand rolls. However, what happens next might surprise you a bit more, is the creature looks at you, turns, runs over. Well, first of all, let's do this. You rip the leg off, and for the first time, it makes a sound. It opens its mouth as you would expect a dog to do, to whine or howl in pain. But the sound that comes out of its mouth doesn't make sense to you. It's kind of a low, droning, like a bass buzzing that then increases in intensity until you can't hear anything else. And then it stops as this thing turns, picks up its leg, and jumps out through a window on the side of the house that just shatters as it runs off into the night.
Wow.
The fuck?
It picked up its leg. Holy crap.
What the hell just happened?
And I'll answer you. Row.
Shaggy.
No, you strangely you understood what the hell just happened just from the tilt of the huge wolf head in front of you.
Well, then I'll just do a Scooby-Doo.
All right, so switching back to the station, you guys have pulled the drive, reconnected kind of away from, although the cameras are off, but away from the camera's view in the woods. What are we doing now?
I mean, I think at this point I would suggest just getting out the area to just reassess everything we've got. Because what's that?
As you prepare to leave the area, you guys can see or possibly hear, depending on where you've stationed yourself, Jerry walk back over to the door and, try to punch in a code and pull on the handle, and the door doesn't open. And he's like, "Come on, guys, stop fucking around." And then he notices.
I shall shift back to human form. Sort of picking the drive out of my mouth into my hand as I do so. And I'll say, our friend Zev loves computers. Let's show him this. I put my hand out for my phone that you still got.
Yeah, so I'll give him his phone back. While doing that, I would be looking for Crow.
Crow.
Bro.
Crow is smart enough. Crow would have been keeping an eye on what Longy was doing and would have followed you out. So, yeah, you can see Crow circling.
Yeah. I'll dial up. Who's it I rung before? Were it Bezer or was it Fenton or Zev? I don't know.
I think you called Fenton, didn't you?
Right. I'll give Fenton a call then, and I'll as I do so, I'll just.
Didn't
put
we
thumbs
decide
up.
you guys share? Didn't we decide you guys share a safe house?
Yes.
Did you pool those together? Where one of you has the security and one of you has the obscurity, and you pool them.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'll flick my phone, start a dial on Fenton, just put my thumb up and go, well done, Crow Pro.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we can say that the synchronicity works. That, well, actually, no. When you dial Fenton, at this point, his phone is the message you get is can't
Uncontactable.
connect. Right. Like this number does not exist.
I'm in Hispo form, right? So I mean, it's I don't have any opposable stuff.
Your phone doesn't exist.
Yeah. It's in the ether.
So after we'll switch to you guys just very quickly to do this. First of all, do you want to try to regenerate? Knowing that if you fail on the rage check to regenerate, you're going to lose the wolf, which is potentially not good for you. Oh no!
He got an extra point though, didn't he?
So you got an extra point for taking damage. So you should now have 2 rage.
Oh,
so you want to try to regenerate before you shift back.
Okay.
Or are you going to stay in Hispo form for a minute because you think there might be more danger?
I mean, we're going to have to get out of this place at some point, right? But
yeah. You definitely don't want to walk around the streets of an urban area in Hispo.
Sure. So, yeah, I imagine I probably do want to regenerate and try and get back to human form.
Okay, so regeneration is pretty simple. You have to make a rage check. So do that first.
Okay. So what am I rolling here? Just two.
Oh, so you just roll a check die.
Single check.
One
die.
check die.
Yep. And if you succeed, you keep your rage. If you fail, you lose 1 rage. But you will then automatically regenerate.
0. 0 successes.
Hang on, I was wrong. So we may need to redo that. Let's see. Rage check instantly level of superficial damage. Oh, which is all you took. Yeah, you didn't take aggravated damage.
Yeah.
No, I
So,
did
yeah.
aggravated damage, right?
You did aggravated damage.
Yeah.
So yeah, you lose a point of rage, so you're back down to 1. But
Okay.
with a successful rage check, you automatically heal 1 point of superficial damage. So that restores that point of damage that you took. And then you can shift back into human.
So that puts my health back to 5, does it?
Correct, your health is full.
Okay.
And then we'll say, because of the gods of synchronicity, as you shift back into human form, your phone starts buzzing or ringing, whatever you have it set.
Cool. Yeah, I think I'll have the old ringer on. So I will answer that. You've reached Benton.
So we've been having fun.
You're
yeah.
not the only ones.
We've got. Oh, really?
I've just ripped what I think is a leg off of, a Doberman. Well, it looked like a Doberman. I've ripped a leg off of something and it's jumped out a window. Not entirely sure what's going on. Zaev's alright. He's a little bit taken aback by the whole situation, but
The thing took its severed leg with him. What kind of creature does? Oh yeah, I know what kind of creature does that. But that.
Well, you do now.
This thing was possessed. It was like us, but possessed. My God, what happens if that happened to one of us? That they just go totally crazy like that. It's a good thing I've never seen any of us do that. We'd have to put them down.
What are you ringing for, Aaron?
We've got a hard drive full of video footage. Need to pull a registration off it, but yeah, needs to plug it into a laptop or something.
Right, you are.
Is it time we actually get together and have a chat about what's going on?
I think we need to meet back at the safe house and pull our information, find out what we're going to do next. Figure this shit out.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. So if that's the plan,
well, I think we should collect all the stuff that we had here. No, me? No. I think we should make sure that we're collecting all the notes and everything that we found here for sure. I don't. I want to spend a little bit more time with that.
Sure. So I think probably what we'll do then is we'll start next session with meeting back up and having discussions about what's going on and next steps. But to finish the rest of this session, I think we will flip back to inside Muller's house because the surprise attack did interrupt a little bit. There's still one more room to look over. If you guys want to do that, leave and head toward the safe house.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Would you like to do that together or separately?
Together.
Yeah. This time, yeah. No more splitting the party in this system.
Oh no, please do. More often. I love it. And I'm not being facetious. I love it.
No, always.
So as you head into the back room, you, even in human form, you can tell once you get close that this is definitely the source of the stench.
Oh.
What may have been a second bedroom, an office, difficult to say. This room is actually clean and tidy. which is strange. Now, despite that, all along all of the walls are variations of spiral symbols scrawled in different mediums: permanent marker, charcoal paint, and you would guess even blood and feces. Each symbol marks the wall above a large dog cage, all of which are empty. And if you look inside them, there are pools of feces and stagnant urine, possibly again blood. Would you like to know how many cages are in this room?
Yes.
6.
How many people on that list again? Left?
6. Oh no, there were 6 people in the ritual.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
And that, I think, is where we will finish for today. Next time, because you guys are bringing all the notes and everything with you, right? Or do we need to go all over those now?
I want to bring the notes
No,
with
I'd
me.
be bringing all of those with me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything that looks important, right? Not the lower level stuff, but the stuff at the top that you've been referencing. Sure. Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, I think the only thing left for us today then is to go through experience. Finish out the session.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
Right. So, everybody participated, so you get a point of experience for that. Participation.
Yeah.
All right. Everybody participated. Did anybody do anything remarkable during the session?
I mean, I ripped a fucking Doberman's leg off.
Yeah,
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I like that, and I like that you even asked, is that enough to rip off a limb? I love that.
You got to check, you know, for science. You got to check, like, you know, what we're doing is poking an eye out or tearing off a head. I mean, you know,
right. So yeah, I'll give you 1 point for that. Anybody else do anything? Did anybody appreciate anybody else did?
I love putting cutlery into microwaves, even though it made me cringe.
Okay.
Genius.
Yeah, that was
So
clever.
point for Longy for that idea. Anything else stand out to anybody? It's fine.
I think the crow pro interaction with the sort of like set it up to go in the bins, but then the next year came up with the barking at the crow to give it the effect, the full effect. Like there's just no doubt at that point that what was, you know, that there couldn't be any doubt that there was nothing dodgy about it at that point. It was literally a animal on animal interaction that any human would just go, for fuck's sake.
Well, what's funny is, and this is completely, so I'll give you a point for that, Tony. What's funny though is, before Tony even selected your spirit, I don't know if you knew this when you decided you wanted to have a crow. Technically it's ravens, but crows are in the family. Did you guys know that ravens and wolves do actually have a symbiotic relationship?
No.
This is true. You can look it up. Like, scientists have witnessed this. Ravens will find prey and then go talk to the pack and lead the pack to the prey.
That's crazy.
Wolves eat. Ravens are carrion.
Amazing.
They got the leftovers.
Kill.
Wow.
Prey. And it's not even leftovers. Ravens will come down and eat with the wolf. Like, they've seen this in Yellowstone.
Oh my god.
It gets even crazy. When the adult wolves go to hunt, they do with their pups. Guess who watches the pups? The ravens.
Amazing.
The ravens hang out with the pups and even play with them. Like, there's pictures of ravens playing tug with pups.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Finding that some have a relationship with specific that they spend a lot of time hanging out with each other and each other's purpose. It's crazy, like that they built this animal like symbiote. I love it. Anyway, true story. Look it up. It's on Google. It's Yellowstone. Scientists.
I did not know that though. No, that is amazing.
Raven.
Nice.
It's just natural. It's something that happened. All right. Anyway, so yeah, 1 point for you. That it? Moving on.
What about the laptop clubbing?
No.
Using the laptop as a club, I did like. It was in
fun.
your hands. You're playing to your character because you don't really like the fact that you're a wolf. You don't want to ship, and so your immediate instinct was, hit it with the thing in my hands. Yeah, I'll give you a point for that. So everybody's at 2 so far. Did anybody use a skill, gift, or trait in a clever or critical way?
The owl thing to get out of the house. To get out of the thing with Aaron.
I even like that, but that's kind of what that gift is meant for. Is to see
Okay, but even knocking out that trash bin to cause the door to open to come out.
That was a great plan.
And it was using the form, and it was, it was just so.
Yeah, and they were using their forms to play to type. Okay, you know what? I'm going to give Longy and Tony both a point for that plan and that interaction.
We played both the role of Scooby and Shaggy at the same time. We were all...
Totally. With a Crow Pro, if only Scooby
with
and
the
Shaggy
Crow Pro.
I love how that's it now. Crow Pro. That was
that's the name.
That's the favourite thing of this one. I mean, everything else was really good, but just coming up, Jake coming up with Crow Pro was just
Oh God. I can't take credit for that. Full disclosure.
All right, we'll go through one at a time. Bessa, tell me something important to your character in this session. Keep it to one thing. Don't steal everything from everybody else. Jake likes to do both. Pick one thing, Jake.
One important thing. I don't know. I mean, I feel like getting that, picking up all that, finding those notes, the information about the spirals, the information on the occult, that manila folder is going to be quite important.
So what do you think that means? What do you think you've learned?
I'm feeling like at this point that Ricard isn't quite what we think he is. That there's more going on, and maybe he's not in charge. Maybe he's being controlled. It leads me to believe that there's something bigger going on with Endron itself, and that Ricard sort of it may be like the face of it, but not through choice potentially.
Okay. Jake, what's one thing your character session?
Well, that's it. I was expecting there to be more deception with Ricardo than this. This seems to be like quite transparent, and it's kind of throwing me off my game in terms of having to discover stuff and going through all his BS excuses of whatever I was expecting to hear from the person. So I think this kind of just like it jumps the investigation forward for me at least 2 steps, because I don't have to go through the crap of what Ricardo's backstory excuse was going to be for hiding whatever it is he is.
Sure. You feel like I know who the villain is. It's pretty apparent now at this point. Sure. Yeah.
Also, if you give me 2 seconds, because I feel really bad. A Crow Pro is not me. I stole that from Kit Boga. He's a spam baiter. Crow Pro, brilliant stuff. So, not me. But
you brought it to the table. It's yours.
Brought it to the table. It's yours. Yeah. All right, Mongy, what is one thing that Aaron learned this session?
Aaron learned a lot about his werewolf side and about his internal rage and about how it's basically super adrenaline but can be focused, and just basically led him to do a load of batshit crazy stuff that when he finally calms down he's probably going to puke his guts out.
Okay. Fair enough. And Tony, what did Lenexia learn anything important this session?
I think Lenexia has learned, like, this is... I mean, obviously from last session as well, but I think realisation is now setting in that this is a lot bigger than we ever thought, because we've just come to this building that one would assume it's just the headquarters where these guys hang out for this agricultural club, but there's like full-on security and people staying here. So like, so what is actually being held here? Like, there's definitely, it feels like there's something important about that building that needs to be checked out. But I mean, we also, like, obviously we've got proof, well, hopefully got proof of part of what's gone on, so we can like learn more. But yeah, it's just like realizing like the sheer state of like how big this is.
Well, yeah, I think you guys have a lot of stuff to think about before next session, where you meet face to face and start talking all this out and start making plans. So I'm excited to see what you do and where everything goes.